what's up there, Misfits? Welcome to Paiges of Ascension. Of course, welcome back if you've been hanging out with me here for a little bit. This is going to be the Shadowscope for the sign of Virgo, okay? So these readings are intended for those who are entering their shadow work process for the year, alright? So I do want to mention and give a disclaimer, which is even interesting that I'm being drawn to do this today specifically. But that sometimes in these types of readings, there are sensitive themes, topics, adult topics, even sometimes triggering topics that can come up in these readings. So if you're not in a place to hear that information right now, I would suggest visiting this video at another time, okay? Okay, let's see here, what else is there? So I did mention in a couple other videos that in order to get the most out of this particular series and these videos over the next 30 days is to actually watch your opposite sign of this one. So for you, Virgo, that would be Pisces, okay? Now let's go over a little bit of fine print while I am getting this all set up for you here. So I am an adult. I do use adult language. If that's something that you're not comfortable with, this is a good time to exit stage left, okay? It means I'm probably not the reader for you. And, you know, no big deal. Plenty of kick-ass readers here on YouTube. I'm sure you can find someone who uses the language that you prefer, okay? As far as pronouns are concerned, go with what you resonate as, okay? This is an inclusive channel. And last but not least, if you are looking for a personal reading, you can go ahead and visit that website on the bottom of my screen. It will take you to POACreator.com. Go ahead and poke around there to see if there's anything that interests you, okay? Alrighty. Oh boy. So this is definitely feeling a little bit more work related. There's something you've been waiting for your happiness to manifest, okay? But here's the thing, Virgo. I feel like for some of you, you've been thinking that that happiness is going to manifest itself through work, and you're currently within some type of employment situation. It feels like that is not balanced, and even I would say you've got some frenemies walking around you at work, okay? On the flip side of this what I'm seeing here could be saying that whatever imbalance has been taking place at your, you know, going on at your place of employment is now, it's the end of that. So things are being, it's like the death of that situation, the death of the imbalance, the death of the inequity, inequality, whatever it is that you've been experiencing at your work, okay? So let's go ahead and look at the situation at play for you. Wow! Okay, the readings I am doing today are rocking my freaking mind, all right? So you've got transformation. So yeah, there is a change taking place. Specifically, I feel like this is an elevation of you in some way, an elevation of your skills, an elevation in the recognition, some equalizing going on with whatever has been going on at your place of employment, and it definitely feels like work. This does not feel like love. At least, you know, we're still waiting to see what comes out with the Kipper, which I'll get to here in just a moment, but this transformation seems to be happening on the work and financial front, okay? Now, the reason I was just like, oh my God, with the transformation card is because at the bottom of the deck, you've got death. Death is transformation, okay? It is transitioning from one state to another state. Not necessarily death. Very often, I would say in tarot, death does not mean literal physical death, okay? It's more metaphorical, if that makes sense. Okay, so let me show you the cards that I pulled for you. So we've got the Ten of Cups. Happy, happy. Okay, we've got the Magician. This is something that you've manifested, something that you've literally brung into being. You've brought balance into being. And you know, even though it's not on the board here, I'm feeling like this might have been something you began to manifest with that Libra new moon that we just recently had, okay? So the next card you have is the Six of Pentacles, okay? Some type of knowledge, something came through to end the inequity of the situation. And sitting on top of the Six of Pentacles is the Ten of Swords, which is making me think ending. There's a transformation in this situation. Now, I also want to point out that 33 is a master number. You've mastered something. You got the information that you needed in order to make this situation turn in your favor, all right? That's what I'm feeling. So let's go ahead and look at the Kipper and see what else we've got for you. And yeah, this might have started with that Libra new moon specifically, but it's going to I feel like begin to come truly into fruition during Scorpio season. Excuse me. All right. Okay, so can I get a couple of cards for the Ten of Cups? All right, we've got Distant Horizons and Privileged Lady. So some of you are finally being afforded the ability to travel, okay? Whether that's because there was an issue with finances, or maybe even because things emotionally weren't quite stable enough at home that you felt like you could take that time away from the family. But I feel like this might be a solo trip that you are taking, and you are very well intended on pampering yourself because you have busted your hiney, okay? And you're ready for that break. It's also possible for some of you that you're going to, the reason for your travels that you're going to see a feminine energy who is quite affluent, okay? And you're expecting to get some happiness and rest and relaxation while you are there, all right? Let's look at the Magician. It keeps on wanting to bring out quite literal chunks of cards for y'all. Okay, there we go. We got our two. Pathway and Concern. So I feel like whatever this thing has been going on at work, at your place of employment, this is something that's probably been going on for a little while. With Pathway and Concern, like concern is bad news, okay? But Pathway is a card that speaks to a long period of time. So it's possible that, again, this inequity has been going on for quite some time. Now, what this is kind of leading me to is, like, say, for instance, you are, I guess, like, in HR department or something at work, and you've got someone at the job who's been harassing you or not doing their job, and in such a way that it's affecting, like it's causing a ripple effect on other employees. So you keep submitting the necessary paperwork to have this person like looked at or talked to by a supervisor or something, okay? I don't feel like you were necessarily seeking to get this person fired, but it's obvious that they needed to be talked to about their behavior or something that they were doing. So you've been submitting this paperwork and bringing it up to your supervisors over and over and over and over for years, I would say 1 to 2 years, okay? And nothing happened. Nothing was going on. The inequality or inequity keeps coming up. So the inequities kept going on. The issue still kept happening, and I would even say to some extent they even got worse. You know, so it's like they stabbed you once, they stabbed you twice, and finally it's like, you know what, I've had it. So I'm feeling like for some of you, you may have had to escalate this here with the Magician. You went to someone who was above the supervisor or even someone who has more hands and more departments that can actually affect some type of change, because that's what the magician does. The magician works with all different elements. So we could be talking about someone who does speaking and PR for the company, but they also handle some degree of finances, okay, with Pentacles being there. They also offer like coaching, you know, for people in the department, but they also are a mover and shaker. They get things going there with the fire element. So this is someone who can play multiple roles, multiple hats, and I feel like that's probably who you went to with your concerns, okay? And there's the number 33, again, master number, and I didn't even see that initially, all right? For some of you, this person that things are ending, that the whoever's being transitioned out of like your department, might be a Gemini. Okay, or you might even be dealing. Yeah, I would say they're probably a Gemini, but don't again get too caught up on the zodiac signs, because anybody can embody the aspects of Gemini. Okay, so let's look at this third pile here. Tell me more about the Six of Pentacles, Ten of Swords. Okay, one more, please. One more, pretty please, with up, and you give me like 4, of course. Okay, and they all land face down, so I'm gonna keep them. Okay, so, ooh, wow, okay, Spirit's wasting no time. The forbidden fruit. We've got false person landing on top of this pile, and we've also got marriage. That's interesting. Occupation. Coffin. Yeah, it is definitely the end of this person being anywhere near the position that they were in. What this kind of speaks to me about with the false person, marriage, and occupation is nepotism. So it's almost like maybe it was your supervisor or someone else who was above you in your department. They actually hired like a family member, you know, their husband, their partner, boyfriend, whatever, okay? Some type of family member. And it was that dynamic of nepotism that was causing the ripple effects through, you know, in your work life and through many other people's work life in your department, okay? This is so work heavy. It's very interesting. But now that this person is transitioning out of your department, I would even to some degree say out of the company. Like, I don't think this person is going to be with the company anymore with occupation and coffin. Oh, confirmation landing right next to each other, okay? I think they're gone. And because of that, it's like you're finally in a position again to be happy about going to work, which is, you know, sucks that this person is losing their job. They obviously probably shouldn't have did what they did. But it's amazing that you feel like you're going to be able to be in a place where you can actually be happy at work. I mean, we spend a lot of our time at work and with our colleagues and stuff. They can almost be an extension of family, you know, so to be able to get back into that high vibrational energy because the low vibrational energy has been removed is kind of an amazing thing. All right, so let's go ahead and look at where this puts you on your path of ascension. Interesting. Okay, so we've got divine discernment. It says step back to find clarity. All right. I feel like there is reflection that is being done right now, and this for you might have to do with you choosing to continue your employment with this company. And I say that because it's not that you hadn't said anything about this. You saw that this was an issue. You saw that this was going to happen. You went to the proper people you were supposed to, and they did nothing about it. You know, so it's like, do I want to stay with a company that's so easily and willing to dismiss me when I bring a problem to them? Is this really an open door policy or not? Do you just say that, or are you going to actually practice that? Okay, so there is discernment that is taking place for you in deciding whether or not this is something that you want to continue to invest your time in, okay? And I do feel like this trip, either to this privileged lady or this trip for yourself, treating yourself as a privileged lady, obviously I'm speaking to a feminine energy here, is going to, or someone who's tapping into their feminine energy, this is going to allow you to come to the decision that is going to make you happiest, okay? So where this puts you at for the suggested shadow work for this season is sacrifice. Good lordy. Okay. So I'm going to pop in the book really fast because I like to look at what the moon phase is for this particular deck, as well as the stage of grief. All right. It's one of the things that I love about this particular deck. There's so many layers to it. Okay. That seems fitting. Okay, so the sacrifice card here, as I'm nearly ruining my card trying to pick it up off the table, is anger. Okay, so that's the stage. Yeah, that's the stage. And the moon phase is the waning gibbous. Okay, so we'll see what comes out with the timing here in just a moment. So basically the sentence for this, it says, I've accepted my duty and in my release I found freedom. So it's almost like you doing what you did, going above. And again, I'm still kind of paraphrasing a scenario because that's what's coming through. This could be a different scenario for you, okay? But it's almost like going to that person who was above your boss and saying something. You almost kind of put yourself on the guillotine, because there's some people who kind of like the status quo and liked how things were, and they don't necessarily want it to change, okay, Virgo? But you can see that that lack of change is going to long-term affect the company. So you put yourself out there to try to affect change to help other people, okay? That is in itself its own sacrifice. Even, and you know, especially if this is a situation where you could see it affecting other people, but it wasn't necessarily directly affecting you, and you chose to speak out anyway. You chose to put yourself on the line, which I am incredibly proud of you for, okay? That's the sacrifice. You know, you were willing to do that to make sure that the integrity of the company was maintained, or the integrity of the department was maintained, so that other people can also have that same happiness and high vibrational attitude of when they come into work, okay? So let's look at your timing to see when this is going to pass. So for some of you, this is just something you've been thinking about. You've been in almost a hangman state, knowing that there is some change that needs to happen, but not knowing the best way to move forward on that change. And you've been thinking about going to someone who is higher up than your direct supervisor, or someone that you've been dealing with, and whatever your situation is, okay? And if that's the case, I would say this is confirmation that that is something you should move forward with, okay? But let's go ahead and look at timing, because for you, the timing may be to start this during the waning gibbous of Scorpio season, okay? Or the next waning gibbous, relate to you? The next waning gibbous after Mars and Mercury have gone out of retrograde, okay? So, very interesting. So, the card you got is full moon in Sagittarius. It says, look at the bigger picture. So that points to Sagittarius season for me. I'm not exactly sure when the full moon is in Sagittarius again. So go ahead and, you know, look on your calendars, you know, do a little bit of searching online to figure out when that is. But I almost feel like if you wait until at least this full moon, some other information again, and that's being so much proved here with this apple, the lone apple hanging from this tree. I consider apple to be the fruit of knowledge, okay? But it's like you're going to learn some additional information that allows you to discern how you approach what you do in making this change happen. Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and call it here. If you got anything out of this, Virgo, please don't forget to like and share. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because you have a regular zodiac reading coming out here in just a little while. So I hope I see you over there, okay? And with that, your peace is your power, and I'll see you next time. Bye.